It is By the Rumor, episode 22. Just a couple minutes late, no big deal. Just getting some things going. How are you, Christine? How was your weekend? How's your day?
I'm good. Thank you guys for waiting. I had to get my rollers out of my hair, and Sam usually helps and sets up this whole thing before I'm ready, and he's not here, so I had to do all of that by myself. You
And
should
I
be
feel
lucky
like,
that you're not a girl.
yeah, I was about to say, I feel like you knocked it out of the park. You did great. The hair looks amazing. The sound check seems to pass. I think we're handling this.
We just need
We
to
don't.
pass, that's all.
That's right. That's right. We're not covering this, but I just saw, I wish we were covering it, that Walmart is handing out radioactive shrimp and people should beware.
I did see that. Okay, so
Yeah.
earlier this morning I saw, hey, like there's a recall on shrimp, and we just ate shrimp yesterday, like Cajun shrimp at some
Ooh.
restaurant. And I was like, oh no, I am radioactive now. But it looks like if you bought frozen shrimp from Walmart, you might be
M-
radiating today.
Might be radioactive. How do you test? Do you just turn off the lights and
It's probably on your pee. It's like
pee?
glow in
Okay.
the dark.
Gotcha. Well, that's what I was gonna say. Is it a turn? If it's a, I started to do it, and then it made me think of Vanilla Ice. I was gonna say turn off the lights and I glow, but yeah, it was making me get distracted. So yeah, we're not covering that story today because it's just so fresh. But yeah, be careful out there.
Darn. It's not
Yeah, be
fresh,
careful.
it's radioactive.
You're right. It's radioactive. Yeah, be careful out there if you're eating. First of all, be careful if you're eating Walmart shrimp anyway. That sounds like you're living life a little too
On the edge.
dangerously.
Well,
Yes.
okay, so that's frozen shrimp, right? So I'm imagining Great Value because that's their brand. Great Value shrimp. What's wrong with Great Value shrimp? It's radioactive.
It's radioactive, yes. And also, I don't know, just there's some things you shouldn't go generic on at Walmart. And I don't know, shrimp seems like one of them. But what do I know? What
What
do
do
I
you
know?
know? You're just in the medical field.
Right, right. Well, for food, not for food, but yeah, I feel like I should know these things. Anyway, welcome everybody to episode 22 of
Wow.
By the Rumor. I know we are just pushing on along through. We're going to go over these topics right here to Christine's side, right here, those little blue boxes right over there. Then Christine wants to talk a little bit about fashionable goods, both real life and digital. We're going to talk a little bit about that. And then I have got some things to say about microstrategy, about strategy. Christine probably is going to be able to put a little 2 cents into this because she has held microstrategy. I don't know if you are now, but don't say.
Yes.
Oh
Oh.
gosh, you ruined the whole tease. Gosh, be a tease. Anyway, yeah, we're going to talk about that because there's been a lot of FUD going around in MicroStrategy, and I want to talk about the FUD. I'm not going to refute the FUD. I might even underline it. So yeah, I'm not going to tip my hand here of where I'm headed with this. But we're going to talk about that at the end because I really think that will be really a conversation you want to see. Now, if you haven't already, please share out the room. Get some more people in here. Christine's been doing the work just now. You tweeted out, correct? You've
Yeah, and it takes a second, guys. Like just tweet out the room and then send it to people.
Yeah, get some people in here because yeah, you want to know about. We are the only podcast that I know of that talks about the markets in light of pop culture type things. I really don't know of anybody that looks at that sort of thing. So we're here to entertain, here to tell you a little bit of things that are going on and how they move the market. So always enjoyable to do that. With that, let's get started on this. Christine, as you see this first one where it says adult pacifiers, do you have any clue what we're dealing with here?
It's so funny because that was a huge topic at our studio last week. I kept bringing it up and asking people if they're going to be buying one.
Okay, well, there is a trend in China, initially popular in China, but it's making its way to U.S. shores, and it is adult pacifiers. It's being used by stress adults to relieve anxiety. Wasn't this a thing in like rave culture in the 90s? Everybody was using pacifiers.
Yeah, I'm glad you remember that. They had like beaded necklaces, and then
Yes.
the main thing would be pacifiers, but I some drugs they.
Just just a second, Christine, you are frozen and I could barely hear
Did
any
you
of
hear
that.
it?
I can hear just you, but yourself is okay. Now I can see you. But when you were talking, it was really bad and I couldn't hear.
No.
So I didn't hear what you said, but you said you do remember people wearing those pacifiers back in the day, right? Oh no.
Necklaces, and then they would have a pacifier at the end. But I believe that was because of the drugs they were on. It helped
Correct.
them feel better. I don't know. Yeah.
Well, there's a lot of
You tell us, why did they have that?
there's a lot of excuse me. There's a lot of teeth grinding going on, and I always assumed that was why they had the pacifier, or they were putting some things you can put like solutions into the pacifier, and they were putting like promethylene or something like that into it as
Oh
well.
my
I'm sure.
gosh, I had no idea. Wow.
I'm just guessing. I'm just guessing. Never was really. You ever been to a rave? I've never have. I'm
I've never been to a rave. It didn't look appealing to me whatsoever any time in my life.
Yeah, I'm not so even with drugs. I don't think I would be social enough. I don't know. Just did not appeal to me. But if you've ever been to a rave, no judgment here. But we'd like to hear from you and have you wear a pacifier. So Christine, when you're giving out when you're inking up somebody's sleeve, are you going to wear a pacifier just to be cool? Because that's what the kids are doing.
No, never. But there's this thing called cadulting. I guess that's part of the pacifier culture. And instead of smoking cigarettes, you should, and this whole trend that's happening in China, I did not know it started there, but I heard it on, I think, a radio station saying that therapists are actually telling their patients or their clients to self-soothe by, instead of smoking a cigarette or vaping, you should have a pacifier and don't be afraid because it's called cadulting.
Oh my! You know who says not to have a pacifier? Dentists is actually supposed to.
Dentists. I knew
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, see, it's actually supposed to be bad for your teeth, and even for kids, for like infants, they say you want to wean them off the pacifier because it can have bad oral health, or it might make their teeth kind of grow kind
Yeah.
of funny. So yeah, careful with the pacifier.
Okay, but would you rather someone next to you in traffic be smoking a cigarette, seeing him vaping or her, or sucking on a pacifier?
Vaping? I mean, here's I don't know. The pacifier thing's kind of weird. The vaping thing, it may be kind of weird, but it's accepted, right? It's socially accepted, and so is the cigarette smoking. But one of them actually is bad for your. Two of them are bad for your health, and one of them is good for your mental health, but makes people make fun of you. So what's
Oh God. Yeah, I guess it's your personal choice.
correct?
I'd rather vape or see someone vape. And now we're going to start seeing companies have to let their employees have a 5-minute pacifier break.
They're gonna have the pacifier room instead of like the smoking room, the smoking break
Yes.
room, and it's
My
just a bunch
God.
of people in there.
We're going backwards. Society's going backwards, guys.
It's crazy. I want to go into the pacifier room. That just sounds, I don't know, so quiet. Nobody would talk to you. It's great.
I'm
Anyway,
really surprised you didn't have any perverted jokes going into this.
I the thought never crossed my mind.
Weird.
But if you've got any, feel free to share, please.
Well, no, I'm not gonna. I was gonna say if I was a guy, I'd have a bunch of things to say about this, but I just won't.
Okay. See, I did not have any, but now I'm
That's
disappointed
crazy.
in you
I'm
I'm
disappointed
disappointed
in
in
you. You always have some freaking
Well, I
crazy.
did not. I'm on the up and up today.
Yeah,
Okay, I'm serious
things are
today.
looking up.
Exactly. See, you're baiting me with that statement. You're trying to make me you're trying to make me say things. Anyway, when they come to your head, because you've already had this conversation in the studio, you should be able to have all these jokes that all the other guys said, and you could have used them as your own content today. So yeah, you should have said
No, I
the
should
good
have
jokes.
just said, "Oh, the guys at the studio said this," because I don't want you guys thinking I'm dirty-minded. But in
Oh,
reality, it was like a walk in the park on this whole pacifier thing. Anyway, before we go to our next subject, a lot of luxury brands are going to cash in, I think, and be like, oh, Gucci pacifiers, it's only $150.
oh my gosh. Okay, well, we'll talk about that in Christine's corner here in a bit. That's a good
Oh,
tease
yeah.
to see. You are teasing. You're doing good.
Yeah.
All right, let's talk about the oil impact. So, crude oil prices fell by 11% since the beginning of August. They said this trend could significantly impact the stock market, but it's been unnoticed and it could have major implications for investors and financial institutions. We always talk about this about what the price of gas is there in California versus Texas. I'm sure it's sky high. I don't even need to ask. Well, I will ask. Are we at $5? What are we at over there?
We're at 5.
Okay, you're near $5. We are not, but I don't know. I'm in a Tesla, so I don't really
Whatever. Who
look
cares?
at those kind of things. But what I will have to say is, do you think that crude oil prices actually are a driver for the rest of the stock market? Should we pay more attention to the price of oil and then look at certain sectors and see how those could affect? And that way we have kind of a, I don't know, a heads up on the way some stocks would move.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's just the way to do it, especially if we're talking about investments and stocks. That's just how you do it.
Well, I like things like that. I like when there's like co-integration between two different things. So you see one thing go up in an unrelated industry, but it is related, and then you see all of this trickle down effect happen to the other industries. I don't know. To me, if crude oil is going down by 11%, that could hurt a lot of things. For instance, since I mentioned Tesla, I think whenever the price of oil is high, it helps out Tesla and just EVs in general because people want to switch to electric to save money on gas. Whenever oil is down and the price of gas is more affordable,
Mhm.
then people are like, oh, maybe gas isn't so bad. So that's my example. I don't
So
know.
predictable of humans.
Right. We do the same thing over and over again and expect something to change.
Yeah.
But from an investment standpoint, that gives us an opportunity to be able to look at the way prices are moving and how it's going to move other prices. All right.
Correct.
All right, let's talk about Costco. When's the last time you had a Costco hot dog? Have you ever had a Costco hot dog?
Okay, so we have a Costco card. I have not had a Costco hot dog for years, but
So
I
you have
know
had one.
I've had one and people love them. So,
They're $1.50, not just for the hot dog, but you get a drink too
I
for
know.
$1.50, and it's good. It's
And the
now grant
pizzas are huge too.
pizzas are good too. The one thing that it's been $1.50 since it's truly like a stable coin. They lose money on it every year, but now Costco stock is about to hit a death cross. Okay, the EMAs are about to cross. It's about to experience its first death cross since October of 2022.
Death
Now, in case
cross.
you're unfamiliar, the technical pattern often linked with bear signals. Analysts are now closely watching the stock for potential market moves. So, Christine, well, let me ask you this question, then I'll tell you how you can profit off of this. Do you think if this death cross happens, Costco changes the price of their hot dog and drink combo
To what?
above $1.50? Do they raise their price? In 2025, do they raise their price?
I think they do another quarter.
Whoa. $1.75. Okay, this is interesting. Well, now let me tell you how you can make big money off of your guess.
Oh
On
yeah, tell me.
Polymarket, which you know how on Polymarket you can bet different things of happening, whether it be politics, sports, all kinds of things, you can do it on Polymarket. They have the opportunity for you to say by the end of 2025, Costco raises the price of their you don't even have to pick the price, just that they will raise the price of their hot dog and drink combo from $1.50. And if you are right and you put enough money into it, you could do pretty well with that because a lot of people would think that they won't do it because they have not done. I mean, that's been the price since the mid 90s and it hasn't changed since. So if you're right, you could go on Polymarket and make big money if you put enough down in it. So
Okay,
how
give us an
serious are you?
example. $100.
Okay, you put in $100. I can't give you like how much the payout would be because I don't know. It all depends on how many people are betting. But let's say you put in $100, right?
Hmm.
And most people are saying, no, it's not going to change, right? But then, the thing that was unlikely to happen did happen and they raise it to $2, okay? That means you picked yes, because this is just a yes no bet. You're not guessing what price it's going to be. It's a yes, no bet. Then yes, and your $100, depending on how many people put no, could be $200, $300, $1,000. The more unlikely the thing that you chose to happen, and it did happen, happens, the bigger the payout could be, because most people wouldn't think it. For instance, you can also bet if Trump will be the Republican presidential candidate in 2028.
Again?
Well, see, that seems unlikely. But if you put yes, and he was, big money for you. Okay,
God.
so pick things with low odds, and you could do that. But anyway,
Have you
Costco hitting
have
the death
you
cross.
won any big money on Polymarkets?
Well, ma'am, in the United States, you can't bet on Polymarket, and I know no way around that.
Oh. Strange. I'll talk to you after.
Okay, yeah. If you knew somehow a way to make my digital signature seem like it was outside of the United States, that
How
seems
would
like
we
wizardry.
do that? How would
Yeah,
we
that
do that?
that seems like absolute wizardry. All right, next up. Oh, it still is on there. Just a second. We're skipping to that one because I said to skip it. All right. It was going to be this thing of guaranteed income. There's cities that you can get in that have guaranteed income, but I looked more into it and it wasn't a story that I wanted to do. All right, short form content. There's a group of Hollywood veterans. Now, you want to listen to this, Christine, because I know that you pay attention to whenever there's a new social media out there. Okay.
Yes.
And this is it. A group of Hollywood veterans are launching MicroCo, a short form content platform aimed at bringing Asian style micro dramas to US audiences. This move represents a new trend in media consumption and content creation. So, if you want to, you could actually try to get in and make a micro drama. Maybe that's what you and I should do, is make a micro drama, and then we can make money. Apparently, this is what the Asians are doing. And if you go back to the pacifier story, what the Asians do is cool over here. So, micro dramas, a social video platform across Asia, and it's coming to Hollywood. Okay.
Okay, so is the micro drama thing, I think that I have been seeing, I don't know if you have, but there's small shorts and it like gets you super invested because it's super dramatic and then it stops and then you
Yes.
have to like, but I just read an article saying that it's bad for our brain. Did you see that?
No, but I do want to mention that. Let me say how long it is. It says the plan is to use Cineverse's streaming platform to launch MacroCo's slate of series that will feature episodes running 1 to 2 minutes in length.
Yes,
Okay.
I heard that's
Very
bad
short.
for us.
Well, it is. Okay, let me go back to kids. Okay. I've had single digit kids more recently than you have.
Right, right.
And if you show them, what's that show? Coco Melon. You ever heard the
Okay,
dangers
yes.
of Coco Melon? It's constantly changing the scene. It's a dopamine rush all the time. Here's my counterpoint to that is for you and me and anybody else on X or Instagram or whatever, we are having our attention spans shorter than 1 to 2 minutes already. Are we not? Right? Like already we're seeing things very, very short. So this is no different than scrolling TikTok in my mind, which is already 30 seconds to 2 minutes in length already, except this will kind of draw you in and bring you in and probably have a higher production value. So if that's the case, are you going to cancel your Netflix and get 1 to 2 minute MicroCo Hollywood productions? Are you going to do this?
So I was getting invested in these little, and they were ads, but they were the longest ads to try and get you invested into the story. And I was like, oh, wow, this is cool. I even downloaded the app and then I saw you have to like pay for it, which of course makes sense. But I was like, no, actually, I don't. It was very cringe kind of acting and stuff, but I don't know what it is that draws you in. I think it was just like the massive drama right in the first 2 minutes, and you're like, oh, what happens there? Even though it's the most cringe actors in acting, but I can see if it was better production, how it could reel you in. And I think there was another American company that started doing it, and I did download it. Shoot, what was it? And I actually deleted it as well because I felt like it was, I don't know, like that. Our ADD gets worse, I think.
Yeah, there's no doubt our attention span is worse than a goldfish at this point. But I can't think of their name, but there was an American company
Yes.
that's tried this before, and they they shut down. Like they couldn't even make it like a year before they had to
And
shut
they
down.
had big
So
actors, right, in their
correct.
production. Dang, what was
Yeah,
it?
I can't remember what it was. I don't even think it had a Web3 bent, but it was in that season where Web3 was, you know, really rocking. But it was in
That's
that
how
season, and it was going to be these little micro dramas like that. But anyway, I don't
it'll
remember what it
catch.
is. Yeah,
It'll catch on.
now's the time.
Yeah,
Now's the time. You
ADD
think?
is up. I would like to know the numbers on ADD and ADHD for like adults these days. I find myself like very invested in some movies or shows, and then I'll just pick up my phone and start scrolling. Why do I do that? I don't like that doesn't
Here,
even make sense.
I have an idea. This is you and I's Shark Tank idea. We're going to go
Okay,
together on
okay.
Shark Tank with this. It's a phone case that does electrical charges into your hand and
Oh my
shocks you
God.
if you hold it for longer than like 2 minutes.
We
Okay, what do
would
you think?
Okay, I love it because that would make me and you stop picking up our phone and everyone else, but we would get targeted by these huge companies like Apple and everyone that are vested into wanting our attention 110% of the time on our phones. So we would be a target and then we would die.
Yeah, you're probably right. We
Mhm.
probably would have an accident that
Yeah, we would have
happens
a
to
heart
us.
attack.
Right, exactly. But anyway, we'll look into the specifics of this, of how to make the shocking phone case.
Yeah.
All right, young grads face the worst job market since the 1980s. New
Oh
high school
boy.
and college graduates are facing the most hostile job market since the 80s. The bleak outlook could have significant impacts on the economy and workforce development in the coming years. And honestly, Christine, it's not getting any better. Okay, AI is replacing jobs. I actually know a CEO that told me, "Man, I figured out something with ChatGPT 5, and I'm able to knock out 4 jobs just from doing this." And he was automating something. This is happening, and it's only going to get worse. You probably talked to, yeah, I just think always in your studio, you've already talked about the pacifier thing. You probably talk to a lot of people about their like life woes a lot, right? Because you're half therapist as well as you are artist, I'm sure.
Correct. I'm glad that you know that.
I do know that. I
I'm
do know that.
also in the medical field.
Yeah, you're a little of everything, right? You're just a little of everything. So, what are you hearing on those streets? Is it as bad as this makes it sound for new grads?
It absolutely is. And I've been witnessing it for personally for the past couple years. A lot of clients that I have that have gotten their bachelor's, fast forward to today, currently, they're not, I feel like they're just still working like a retail job or their service job. And I'm like, hey, what's going on? When I tattoo them, I'm like, what's going on? So have you gotten anything? And they're like, no, there's nothing. So I'm wondering where that's coming from. Is it like technology AI takeover, or is it just the economy so bad that there's just no jobs? Has this been
Yeah.
longer than a couple years? I don't know. And I would love to know your thoughts because
Yeah.
you went to school for a long time and
Yeah.
I don't know.
Okay, so I do think technology is having an effect on it, but because the economy is so bad, and really, I don't even know that we've recovered from COVID very well, but
Right.
whenever the economy is bad and businesses do bad, the best way they can affect their bottom line quickly is by cutting their expenses. Okay, there's 2 ways you can do it, right? You can bring in more customers, right? But that
Hmm.
takes some investment usually. You have to have some advertisement, you actually have to spend more money, or you can cut expenses. And there's different things you can cut expenses because a lot of things are contract and a lot of things will take a while. But the quickest way you can cut expenses quickly is payroll. Boom, let them go. I just saved ourselves. I just cut 10 people that were making $100,000 a year. I just saved us $1 million a year, that sort of thing.
Yeah, that's
It
true.
is, it's so easy to do that. And then what happens? Everybody else gets more overworked, right? The people that are left in the business, right, now have to pick up the slack that those 10 people left. So now they don't have as much, they're overworked, making the same amount of money, and then you realize that you can do it. You find efficiencies, you just find workers that can willing to get kicked in the nuts, and next thing you know, these companies don't need to hire those 10 positions that they let go because they're overworking, or at least found the efficiencies that they need to do for the ones that they do have. And because of that, there's no new jobs. You get all these people that are very educated and absolutely don't have a job to find. And I don't have the answers for it, but I think it's scary if I were, you know, in my early 20s right now.
Yeah, it's very scary. And I think that leads us to question what should you go to school for and get your degree in nowadays, or is it even worth it? Which
Ooh.
refers me to these articles that I had read in the beginning of the year saying Apple, there's huge companies, and the only company I remember is Apple, saying that they're actually looking into people that don't, they usually would be looking for people with degrees, but now they're actually open to hiring employees that don't have degrees but have, the potential to, I don't know if it's like teachable or they have the same amount of equivalent experience or something like that, but
Yeah.
under, like, there's no degree. So I don't know what the answer is, but I know that is very scary for a lot of younger kids that are in school or planning to go to school. Is it even
Eh,
worth it to go into this debt and then you can't find a freaking job?
Man, I say no. Okay. So I've always thought about, oh, my kids are going to go to college, that sort of thing. But as I've gotten older, I've really changed how I feel about that. I think trades are important,
Trades,
electrician, uh,
plumbers,
plumber, all that, all these things that, a lot of people look down their nose at for people doing because they're blue collar
they
jobs.
actually make a good amount of
They
money.
make not only do they make a good amount of money, AI is not going to unclog your toilet anytime soon.
Mm-mm.
Okay. AI is not going to fix the electrical issue that you have anytime soon. It's, it can make good money. You can be entrepreneurial and probably make, the sky can be the limit of how much money you make. You could have other electricians working for you as
Correct.
you are, I mean, there's
Versus you
all kinds of
working
things.
for someone and you're just, oh, in 2 weeks I get this check, then I can buy this or make a payment. And it's like,
100%. So I do, don't hear me that I'm just like poo pooing on college. I do think for some people, college is the right move. But I think for another group of people, maybe even a larger group of people, college is not the right move. And you shouldn't do that, especially if you have that drive to have that entrepreneurial spirit. And oh, by the way, you don't end up $250,000. You don't end up $250,000 in debt in the whole after the whole thing as well, which that stuff can literally be crippling for life. So there are things that one could look into doing. They're not always, a desk job, but at the same time, they probably a little bit more rewarding in other ways as well, in addition to not having all the debt. All right, enough on that. That was good. That was always like our run through everything, especially when you've already talked about it in the studio. Here's my homework for you, Christine. Whenever you are in the studio and a fire topic comes up, like the pacifiers, I need you to make a little note in that, or just send me a text that just says adult pacifiers. Okay, because I know you don't have much time. I know you don't have much time, but I don't know. I feel like we're
you're
we're
like, okay.
well, exactly. I feel like you are having a good place to have good topics of conversation right there
Yeah.
at your job, and yeah, I need to know where the top conversations are each week. All right, with that, let's talk a little Christine's corner because Christine has been looking at high end fashion both in real life and digitally. So let's look at it.
Christine's Corner, where the buzz is hot. Crypto trends or the latest pop plot. From gadgets that glow to stars in the sky. If it's on her mind, you know it's gonna fly. So plug in, tune in, let's
Take that ride. By the way, Innovative just said tradesmen will be busy programming the trades into the robots. So he's saying tradesmen are going to make make it not as indestructible to AI because they're going to program the AI to do that. So
And we're gonna program, and he's right. I mean, they're eventually gonna be programmed to everything, but they might be the last.
yes, that's a good point. Maybe that will happen, Innovative, but eventually, I think all the other professions will probably get nixed out before these do. Just a thought. All right,
Yeah.
Christine, luxury goods, are they still important, digital or otherwise? I'm going to start off by asking you a question, and then I want you to just take it off. How many expensive bags do you own? And are you an
Okay.
expensive bag girly? And
Okay.
yeah, take it off from there for luxury goods.
I would say I have like 7,
Seven.
right?
Okay.
Am I proud of it these days? Like, fast forward, I don't think so. Like,
You'd
I
rather
don't
have the
think
money
so.
that you'd rather have the money that went into those bags.
Yeah. And I think we all get caught up in, that's a good question, because we all get at some point caught up in whatever it is. It might not be purses, but cars, watches, whatever. But fast forward and into this economy and just the society that we're in, is it something to be proud of? Is it even something that we actually care for now? Um, I don't know. And I think a lot of things have changed. And it brings me to this topic that we're talking about is, are we such in a recession, or have we just, because luxury goods and retailers have taken such a huge hit these days, and it's been years. They've witnessed a huge decline in people caring about luxury goods. It's not so many. A lot of people are more into just basic essentials or just dressing things up that look nice, but it's not necessarily a $2,000, $3,000, $5,000 bag. People aren't too impressed anymore. Now they actually look at you in not disgust, but they're like, oh, how can you do? I could never see myself spending that. Like, I can't, I'd rather, whatever it is, invest, save,
Yeah.
etc. And do I think that's right? It probably is. And I think got caught up in a phase of like, hey, work really hard. And I'm able to afford, these little things. Let me reward myself with this purse. Let me buy this car. Let me buy, you know, fine dining. I'm a sucker for fine dining. And now I find myself like, hey, maybe I shouldn't go once or twice a month. Like maybe I need to scale back, and that should be like a event thing, like every few months or whatever. But I find art in fine dining. But anyways, so I think this topic is talking about that I wanted to bring it up is people are scaling back on that, but now they want to dress up their avatars. So let's say your avatar, right? Like the
Okay.
microphone, the famous green background microphone. Are you
Yes.
all of a sudden going to put like a Gucci something on it, because these brands are gonna try to cash in somewhere, and they're gonna be like, hey, they don't want to buy these $2,000 shoes, but maybe the avatar, we could, we copyrighted this Gucci pacifier or
Yeah.
Gucci
Yeah.
like glasses. It's $200. That's affordable. You'll spend that, right? You're dumb enough to spend $200 to dress up your avatar, and it's Gucci, and someone could authenticate, hey, he did buy that. That's so cool. Is that the new cool? Is that the
Okay.
new
Well,
trend we're going into?
let me ask this: where are these avatars being used? Are we back into a metaverse type of a thing? Are we all like hanging out in a digital room with our, we're using like Meta,
Yeah,
the
your
virtual
little
reality?
characters, and which and are familiar with, because I tried it. Like I think you
Yeah.
as well. Like we went into the metaverse, and you have these little characters, and you could buy T-shirts. And then at that time, Adidas and Nikes and I
Yeah.
think they were part of it. And actually, people were buying $15 black Nike shirts, and you can't just pick it up. It's not what is provided to you, but you can go in a metaverse store
Yeah.
and like buy that. I the article that I read is talking about, yes, metaverse, but also bringing up Avatar. I don't see mainstream going and hanging out in metaverse scenarios as of yet. That's probably the next generation that's used to, Roblox and like all this stuff, Minecraft. But I think I do see avatars getting dressed up and people actually paying to have like a Gucci background that you could only buy over here, and it was limited. And then that's like your status symbol, or like, I don't know. It's very
So
weird.
this whole time you've been this whole time you've been talking. I don't know if you know that. And I've been thinking like, nope, nope, not seeing it, not seeing it. Until you just now said something. You said Minecraft and Roblox.
Mhm.
And we've got a whole generation of people that are growing up playing those games, right? And they're buying
Yeah.
skins, or even Fortnite. They're buying skins and doing all these things. A lot of pop culture type things come from video games. So this
They
whole
made a
generation,
movie, right? The movie made insane
oh,
amount of money.
in insane money. And Fortnite makes so much money. You've heard people say something is sus. I believe that comes from
Is
Among
it?
Us.
Holy crap.
Yeah, well,
Okay.
in Among Us, it's like a group of little spacemen, and one of them is like the mole, the one that's we have a mole among us, and they are considered sus or suspect.
Sus. We
Right,
were
right.
using that and didn't even know. I didn't know where it originated from.
I learned a new one this week that's also from video games.
Go.
If I say, man, that is completely OP. What is that?
What's that?
Well, that's overpowered, ma'am. That's
Overpowered.
it's something is like really powerful, man. That is so OP. It's overpowered. It's from Fortnite. So
Wow.
again, something from there. Anyway, point
Yeah.
is, all this generation is used to using these digital items like this, and when they get into adults and get older, they might be interested in luxury goods like you're talking
Absolutely.
about.
They're already doing it, right? They're just asking
Right.
their parents, like they're using their allowance, if that's still a thing. They're using their allowance or asking their parents for their birthday gifts, like, can you please get me a Roblox or Minecraft gift card?
Yeah.
Because they are used to buying goods for these video games. I don't know what the end goal is really, because if it's not making us actual real money in real life that we could use, I don't want to play. But so they're that generation is huge on that. So they're already used to it. So imagine inserting Gucci, blah blah blah, like all these high-end Louis Vuitton, all these high-end brands as they become older. Does it become where their status symbol, instead of buying real luxury cars, purses, shoes, whatever, they're actually doing it in the game and their avatars, and that's, we can't relate, but they will soon.
So my only counterpoint to that is, you told me you had all these purses or these bags, and that you're now like changing how you feel about them, right? Well, these kids, because of the economy and just the way the world is now, right? These kids have grown up in the world during the time that you've changed your mind. So what I'm saying is, they may not hold a Gucci bag and a, all these things in high esteem. So I wonder if they will hold the digital version of it as hallowed ground as we might, because they've grown
I
up in a different world, in the real world. So
I
I
don't
don't
know.
know if that means they won't want it as much anymore.
I don't know either. It's a strange thing, and I think it's a shift, and we don't know exactly how it's going to go, but I do see that every society, every generation has like the cool
Yeah.
kids or popular kids, and then the not so. And then these luxury brands have existed for so long because that is a pattern that is just exists. And no
Yeah.
matter how basic, essential, uh centered we get, I think there's always going to be that part of the generation. And I think all it takes is, these generations love the influencers, and all it takes is the influencers starting to, hey, what is their avatar character like?
That's
That
all it
jacket is,
takes.
that jacket's cool, I want one. How much is it? Oh, 1,000 or 500, but like they only have 10. Like, oh my god. And it's the skins becoming like, because that's status symbols, right? Like the
Yeah.
tools or whatever they're buying. So it's the same thing, but as an adult, are they going to want to dress up their little avatars? And I think we're going to stay at home more, and then
Yes.
that's the only way you can flex,
Express
or
yourself.
yeah.
Yeah. Flex your, yeah. No, I think you're completely right about staying home more. I think more and more people just stay home. You see like drinking going down. You see a lot of like, what we might think of as socializing, that's going down. And you're right. People will want to flex somehow still. They
Somehow.
probably will somehow. I don't know if it's like this or not, but I can't rule it out. So
Ugh,
interesting stuff, Christine.
weird.
Luxury goods. So you say they are still important, or they'll still be important.
They'll still be important, and whether it's a phase or not, it's going to happen, and it looks like it's going to be on your avatar or just characters in the metaverse.
Very, very interesting. Well, that is Christine's Corner. It is time we do a little bit of birthdays.
Birthday.
I have got a lot of them today. Didn't give Christine the cheat sheet, so you don't even have to bother looking. This first one is an American actor and filmmaker. He received numerous awards and nominations, including a Golden Globe. His notable films include Fight Club, American History X, Birdman, and The Illusionist. This person is 56. Do you have any guess who this
Is it
is?
Edward?
It is Edward Norton.
Happy
How did
birthday,
you do that?
Edward.
You're cheating. I don't know how you're doing it, but you're cheating. You've looked up
No, I
birthdays
love
today.
him. So
Okay. This next person is a voice actor, producer, and American actor. Made his film debut with The Legend of Billie Jean in '85. True Romance, Broken Arrow, also known for the lead role in the TV series Mr. Robot. Who is that?
damn it, I forgot his name.
He talks like Jack Nicholson for some reason.
Yeah, I love
Christian
True Romance.
Slater.
Christian Slater.
Christian
I love
Slater.
True. Dang, I almost was 2 for 2 because I was like, I love him so, and I'm like, damn it, what's his name?
This next one is a funny person. He's an American comedian, actor, writer, TV producer, and musician. He's a member of the comedy music group The Lonely Island and was a cast member on SNL. He is known for his role as Jake Peralta on the police sitcom Brooklyn Nine-Nine,
Oh, I
who is
love that.
47 today.
Damn it,
Who
I
is
don't
it?
know. I don't know his name either.
His name is, I do, but I have it right here. His name is Andy Samberg.
Okay,
He's the
Andy
one that is-
Samberg. You
Do you
know,
like
I
the-
didn't really know his name, but I do like him as an actor.
Do you like the song The Chronicles of Narnia? It's the Chronic. What goes of
Yeah.
Narnia? No. It's like very early YouTube. Let's see. Let me go down to other people that are notable. This person is an American actor, comedian, producer, the star and co-creator of Rescue Me, which received Primetime Emmy Award nominations. Also starred in The Sandlot, The Ref, Suicide Kings, Wag the Dog, Demolition Man, and Ice Age. Who is 68 today?
Who?
There's Dennis Leary. I love The Sandlot. I love The Sandlot.
Yeah,
He
me
was
too.
the dad.
Happy birthday, Dennis.
I'm not even going to give this one to you. I'm just going to let you tell me who he is. He is 56 today. His name is Masta Killa. Who is Masta Killa?
Is that a rapper?
It is. No. He's an
Is that like
accountant.
Master
No, I'm kidding.
P? Oh.
No, he is a rapper. It's
Oh, okay.
It's American rapper and member of the Wu-Tang Clan.
Master
One of the
Killa?
lesser known members of the group. He's the last to release a solo project.
Holy crap, I never knew that Master Killa.
Masta Killa. Unfortunately, this gentleman has passed away. Malcolm Jamal Warner would have been 55 today.
Happy heavenly birthday.
Yes, happy heavenly birthday. And now you were caught up. That is the birthdays for today.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday to everybody that's having a birthday on here. I've got some things I want to talk about. Let's talk about MicroStrategy right now.
Voice message, you'll hear it loud and clear. Tech and crypto wisdom, the truth is here. Big thoughts, bold moves, cutting through the haze. When the voice speaks up, you'll be amazed. So listen up.
All right. Okay, there's very few times, Christine, that I do a segment and I am excited to talk about it like I am on this one. Now,
Okay.
months ago, you texted me and said, dude, have you seen the dividends for Strategy?
Yeah.
And you gave them to me, and I said, I basically told you, I don't even believe it. I don't even believe it.
Yeah, you're
And then
like,
you
get
came
back
ba-
to me. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And you did get back to me.
Yeah.
Like months later, not months later, weeks later.
Yeah.
And you actually did get a dividend back,
Yes.
correct?
Correct.
They did pay out.
Correct.
So is it a Ponzi? That's what I want to discuss today because they are starting to be called out quite a bit. Okay, so I want to discuss that quite a bit. So if you're unfamiliar with Strategy was a completely different company in the late 90s. Still had Michael Saylor kind of pushing it forward. But then the dot-com bubble happened. And when the dot-com bubble happened, it blew up in their face. And Saylor lost, I believe it was like $4.6 billion in one day. Okay. And they persevered. The SEC actually came after MicroStrategy at the time, but they persevered and they kept on, producing software. But then in COVID year, 2020, they did something that now many companies do. They decided, let's use some of the cash we have and make a treasury of Bitcoin, okay? They changed what they were doing. They wanted to make a treasury of Bitcoin instead. And man, did they. Since then, they continue to market buy Bitcoin at an unprecedented clip. So much so that they continue to buy it all the time. There is no wait for the dip or anything like that. Saylor and MicroStrategy, now just called Strategy, is buying up Bitcoin as fast as they can. Now, you ask, they don't really have a business here, right? It's not like they do sell software still, I believe. But for the most part, literally their logo now just has Bitcoin on it. So after all of this, they actually are buying more Bitcoin through other ways of doing it, not just through a business strategy of doing it. The other ways include usually releasing shares of other type things. We'll talk about Strife and Stride and all that here in just a second. Here has been my issue with strategy. Where is their Bitcoin, Christine? Like, Bitcoin's a public blockchain, right? I can see if I know your Bitcoin address, I can see exactly how much Bitcoin
Right.
you hold. Where is it for MicroStrategy?
I mean, I would imagine that it was in a wallet that's called MicroStrategy Treasury.
Well, you might think that, but it's not. We cannot confirm how many Bitcoin they have. We know their purchases, and we know they say they have it, but from online sleuths have looked and they've tried to find it. It's probably with Fidelity, and it's probably with Coinbase. He's using other avenues for custodianship. He's not just holding on to his Ledger wallet to have all this.
Right.
Is that a issue that if Fidelity, had an issue with their, a security issue, or if Coinbase had a liquidity issue like FTX, would that be a problem at that point?
Most likely, yes. But I would imagine, because Michael Saylor is smart, that he has that covered and has thought of that.
Okay, well, you might be right. Let's talk about the dividend puzzle. MicroStrategy issues these exotic preferred shares. The tickers are STRK, STRF, STRD, STRC, and these dividends yield 9 to 10%, far above the S&P 500 average of 1.2%. 1.2% is what the average is.
It's amazing.
We're talking 9 to 10%. But how are they funding out these dividends that he's promised?
Correct.
Is it because something they're selling? No, it's because these new exotic shares that they're coming in and people are investing in those. He released one just a couple weeks ago and it sold out in minutes, okay? So do we have a term for a project that doesn't bring in money, but requires more money to be brought in from new investors to keep the old investors happy? Is there any term that we would use?
No,
for that?
I can't think of it.
Okay, I don't know. I don't know. I've heard it called a Ponzi. So it's not legally a Ponzi, but critics argue that it's Ponzi-like.
So are they not trusting him? Do you not trust him?
I'll get to that. I'm going to make my conclusions in a second because I'm going to play a video for us here in a second. But it's not a Ponzi, but it is Ponzi-like. Requires continuous new investors to fund dividends and to buy more Bitcoin.
Fund my dividends.
What'd you say?
I said, fund my dividends.
Yeah, and that's what they're doing, right? Future cash flows are heavily encumbered by dividend promises because people like yourself have been promised dividends, right? Supporters say, well, if Bitcoin keeps rising, then the strategy is genius. The detractors say if Bitcoin stagnates or falls, MicroStrategy risks a doom loop. Now, here's where, and I've always kind of thought there's something weird about this. It seems like your dividends, if it's too good to be true, it probably is.
And we thought that, remember? I was like, let's see.
But just because you're paid out, just because you got paid out, because FTX did real well too until it didn't, right? So just because you were paid out doesn't make that this is going to end well for them. It might end well for you. Might end well for you,
if I
but it may not end well for, if you cash out at the right time. Exactly. So let me play a little video because this week or this past month, we've seen influencers start to really call out Michael Saylor in strategy. And I want to play a little something on here. Oh, I don't like it when I'm...
Oh, look at him.
I don't like that. Yeah, exactly. Do you know who that is?
No, I don't trust his face.
Okay, well, he's a funny dude. Let me see if I can play.
Silent on the matter, but I can no longer stay silent about this. We need to discuss what's going on with these crypto treasury companies. And in particular, there's one that I've already discussed, SharpLink Gaming. But there's one that I've been hesitant to bring up, and that's MicroStrategy and Michael Saylor. I'm now convinced that Joe Lubin and Michael Saylor, as well as all of their followers and everybody else who's big fans of this entire crypto treasury company.
This is a pretty long video, so I am going, get ready. He's going to sound like he's a chipmunk for a second.
Okay.
I'm going to speed this up a little bit because that's what I want to do.
Scheme are co-conspirators in what may potentially be one of the biggest crimes ever. This is basically a massive Ponzi scheme as far as I can tell, and I'm no longer willing to sit idly by while this goes down. Joe Lubin's Sharplight Gaming is down something like 15% today alone. Ethereum's down 3%. What the hell is going on? Bitcoin just hit all-time highs, yet MicroStrategy is something like 20% off the top. Are they going to stop doing their at-the-market issuance ever? No. Michael Saylor did provide some clarity in his latest earnings call around the conditions under which they would continue to do that. But the reality is we continue to get diluted, and shareholders are getting completely wrecked. In the case of Sharplight Gaming, if you bought as soon after it came out, you're down upwards of 50% or more right now. That's insane. Lawsuits are going to be written about, or going to occur. History will be written about this. As far as I'm concerned, Sam Bankman-Fried was a saint as it compares to the behavior that's going on with these treasury companies right now. I know that I'm gonna have a bunch of haters in the comments being like, oh, how dare you speak negatively about Michael Saylor. Michael Saylor is tweeting complete nonsense right now about how you effectively need to remain diamond-handed, that volatility is a gift to the markets. I've never heard more bullshit come out of anybody's mouth than Michael Saylor himself. This guy, he is a genius. Do not get me wrong. This guy is an absolute genius. He's crafted basically one of the best capital extraction vehicles of all time. And if you want to be bullish about Michael Saylor, that's what you can be bullish about. He's been able to develop and productize Bitcoin vehicles, products that he can bring to various capital markets. Incredibly effective at that. But it's all been at the expense of shareholders. And yes, I know that there's a report somewhere that describes the amount of Bitcoin per share, but the market doesn't seem to give a shit about that. And that's all that matters. All the math that everybody is talking about when it comes to MicroStrategy is all dependent on the market caring about the underlying assets in this case. And as it applies to all the crypto treasury companies right now, there's no longer the same level of premium that there once was, and lawsuits will start to fly. That's all that I can say. Look, I am a man of incredible means. You saw me with my $500,000 top Bitcoin buy the other day. I have resources, I have network. You don't think that I'm digging into this right now? All I can say is this may be one of the greatest schemes and scams that have ever occurred in crypto. I don't want to say anything more. I'm deep in the investigation mode right now. I'll be back with more information, but this is honestly offensive, and it's been destroying an immense amount of capital. Joe Lubin just issuing more and more stock. Us all getting wrecked. I want to cut this video right now, but I needed to come on here and say that so all of you understand that I am deep in the investigatory process to uncover the truth behind these things. And I think these are Ponzi's just waiting to collapse. I'll be back with more.
All right, there we go.
Valid.
What do you have to think about that?
So, as a shareholder of MicroStrategy, I did notice little things like, man, like we're heading to all-time highs, and then MicroStrategy just wasn't, it just didn't equate. I was like, that's so weird. But then I get my dividends. I'm like, whatever, who cares? So you know, he has valid points. I don't know. Like, I'm not even close to how smart, I'm sure, or investigative he is. But like, there has been questions when I watch the shares and how it goes down all the time, but then the dividends come and I don't care. So I wonder if, I don't know. And I do like Michael Saylor. I don't think he'd risk so much of his reputation. I think he's always been under a magnifying glass. I don't think he'd risk his freedom and his reputation to do like a huge Ponzi scheme, but I don't know. Like, who knows?
Well, he was, okay, so whenever his original company, whenever MicroStrategy in the 90s or in the early 2000s, the dot-com bubble burst, okay, one of the reasons it did is because they overinflated their revenues. They said they made more money than they actually did.
And he was part of that.
And he was part of that. And he was part of that.
But you think he would do that again?
Maybe he's reformed. Maybe he's learned his lesson. I don't know. Here's what I have to say. Okay, you asked what my thought is on it. And after looking at all this, because I've already had my doubts about strategy.
Right.
And I've told you that. Even after you told me this and you got the dividends, I thought, should I do this, right? Because for you, within how long could you make back your initial investment? I mean, a few years if it stayed at that.
And it was something where we were like, if you can just get in and out and just grab that.
Correct.
Because that's what it is. And I think the dividends, like when I looked into it, it said it's not always going to be like that. You know, like it has to it has to make sense. But for someone to just imagine you dropped like, I put 500 grand or whatever, and then I got my dividends and I just left.
I mean, that sounds great, but there's going to be people that do that, okay? I don't want to say going to be people. Let me just give a scenario here. Let's say lots of people do that, $500,000 toward a thing, and they're going to plan on getting out, get in and then out. But then Bitcoin does one of these things that it will do where it goes from 120,000 to
130. Oh.
No, like 40,000. Okay,
That's
something.
not gonna happen, but yeah.
Okay, well, whenever it went from 69,000 to 10,000, that was not going to happen either, but it did. Okay,
That's true.
well, let's just say that it happened. We went down to 40,000, something crazy. I'm literally just picking numbers out
Okay.
here. If that happens, the price will go down. People will pull out of their money that they can. Okay, and then he won't be able to make the dividend payments that he was before because he won't get all the new money going into it. If he can't make the dividend payments, then he's really screwed because then he's going to have to liquidate Bitcoin to be able to pay out the dividends, right? Because he's sitting on all this Bitcoin. And then what happens whenever you liquidate that much Bitcoin? Well, it makes the price go down in addition to the FUD that it starts of MicroStrategy is selling, right? Because right now those words have never been uttered to my knowledge. Who would know? Because their wallets aren't public. So who would even know that? So in the end, too high risk for me. Too high risk for me. I get what you're wanting to do, and I'm not getting on to you for that. I'm just saying there is some risk involved here. If it goes down, it's almost like a leverage position, right? Like I could do a Bitcoin long for like 20x, right? But if it goes too far down, I'll get liquidated, right? And I'll lose it all. And if that's the way you're looking at it, then that's 100% the way it is. It's either going to be feast or famine in my mind. And by the way,
That's true.
to anybody listening, I have no clue what I'm talking about. Don't listen to me.
Me either. So
Yeah, I was about to say.
yeah.
He's either going to call this buy the rumor or two people who have no clue what they're talking about.
Yes.
Anyway, yes. Sam said voice. I'll get to that. I don't even remember what I said that about, but
That's
said it
fine.
about something. Anyway, yes, MicroStrategy. I'm telling you, there's something odd about it, and we are gonna on episode 122. We're
find
going
out.
to have we're going to know more about this. And if you want to spike the ball on me and dunk on me and say, yeah, take that, yeah, then I'm sure you will. I'm sure then you absolutely should. But I just say probably
Be
not
careful.
for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like Saylor. Okay. I
Okay.
love the way he looked at Scottie Pippen whenever Scottie Pippen said that he met Satoshi in the mid 90s. I love if you've never seen that video, you
I
need to
didn't.
check it out. Do you know who Scottie Pippen is?
Yes.
Oh, no. Okay. Well, Scottie Pippen says that he met Satoshi in the 90s. Okay. This is before Bitcoin, so that would be a little odd. But anyway, whenever he did, Saylor looked at him like, what are you talking about? So I love it. I think Saylor's been a good spokesperson for Bitcoin.
Right.
But I am just telling you, there is
Something's
things
off.
that are weird about strategy. There's going to be people that make a lot of money off strategy. There are, and it'll be investors, right?
Right.
But I'm worried that the other shoe is going to drop eventually. So my
We'll see.
I'm out on it. I'm at the table and saying I'm out. I'm out. But you
Well, I'm in, sucker.
go in more. Go in more.
Whatever. No, I have to safely be in. I
No,
can't
no.
like go in more. But you're
Put-
probably right. I am gonna go in more.
Yes. I want to see you on a commercial whenever this thing does break down and say like, won't you please help? Michael Saylor took all my money.
I'm gonna be like, my friend told me be careful, but my
And I
life
didn't
savings.
listen. Right, exactly.
Okay.
But I didn't listen.
Okay, this is a good segment, and I'm glad that we kind of like have our differences, and we'll see, right, in episode 125. But
Yes.
also, let's talk about real quick where you see crypto going, because obviously we're at a pullback, and hence we have all the people saying, "Told you it's going to go to zero again," because they always come out
Well,
during this time.
last week you told, or a few months ago, you told me Ethereum is going to go to $4,000. And if you look at the chart this week, it is going to go to $4,000 from 4,800.
I was right.
Well, you were right. It's going from the other direction.
But we're
yes.
breaking supports here. Like, so what are your thoughts on where Bitcoin will be next month?
Ooh, okay. So what are we at right now? We are at 112,
Right. 112.
105. We're at 105 next month.
105?
I'm sorry. You asked. I'm not looking at even a chart right now, so I'm not looking at support or resistance. But I do know when things bleed, people get pretty upset and start selling. I don't believe we've seen the last all-time high of this cycle. Let me say that. So I'm bullish and bearish at the same time. But a month from now, I'm seeing a little bit of FUD taking things down a little bit. Again, don't listen to me. Don't know what I'm talking about. I feel like I've made that very clear. What about you? Where do you see it 1 month from now?
I didn't think this pullback would take us to 105, but I mean, what do I know? So I don't know, maybe even 100.
Ooh, okay. So
Yeah.
wait a second. You went from in that quick. I'm so convincing that I went to it won't take us to 105 to 100. Like now you're going past that.
I mean, you're smarter than me
Oh, that's not true.
sometimes.
If I
So,
am smarter than you, it's by
Feel
accident.
like, yeah, well, accidentally or not, I just feel like this pullback has broken supports, and who knows where it'll go. But 100, I don't
100's
think
a
you'll
big
go.
psychological. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think you'll go under 100.
I hope you're right. I really do hope that we don't see below 100. But let me say, if we go below 100, if we go below that psychological area of 100, look out.
Oof.
Look out. It's
Look out for
not
what?
going to be pretty.
Well, it's going to go lower. Well, and volatility, as Michael Saylor said, is a gift, and it truly is. And if you feel like, oh man, should have got in before, because we still believe in it, right? Like people should still believe in it, and the volatility and these huge, crazy pullbacks, I was going to say crashes, these huge,
Yeah.
crazy pullbacks is a gift if you want more or if you want to get in. And I know that at 123 or these new highs, a lot of people were saying, oh man, I should have. Okay, well, here it is. But a lot of people
Right.
don't pull that trigger when that opportunity arises again.
100%. I think the thing to look at will be, we talked about the death cross in Costco earlier.
Yeah.
I think the thing to look at is your EMAs, something like the EMA 50 going below the EMA 200 or something like that. And whenever that happens, look out.
Oh man,
look
this
out
is
below.
nuts. This is nuts. It's sad to see such a huge pullback, but then at the same time, like we're used to it, right? Like we've seen insane pullbacks, and you know what? Whatever. And we're still here, and we still believe in it. And then if you have extra cash, go ahead and buy.
I'm numb to the roller coaster at this point. It goes up, it goes down.
Nobody
At least
cares.
as far as Bitcoin, at least as far as Bitcoin's concerned, I don't sell. I just hold on just
Do you
forever.
buy more?
I haven't in a while. Because I'm not buying more on the way up. Whenever we do have the major crash, I would probably be more inclined to buy more then. But I've held on to my Bitcoin for a long, long time, and I make no plans to sell it if it does crash to 40,000. I make no plans to sell it. It is what it is. It's just there forever now, as far as I know. As far as I'm concerned.
Your reoccurring? What will you buy in an insane pullback, like, or crash?
I would probably, okay, so last time and now you're talking an insane pullback, so I'm just going to answer your question for the insane pullback. But last time there was a high around 70,000, right? Okay, so if we're talking that it gets back down, previous support becomes resistance, I would probably start looking around that area. And I would also start looking around the 80,000, which it's hung around there for a while as well. So
A while, yeah.
those basically previous support or previous resistance might be my new
Okay.
support.
But so what are you buying? Bitcoin?
It'd be Bitcoin probably. But thing is, Christine, whenever I'm at the casino, okay, and I mean the Bitcoin casino, the crypto casino, I'm looking at meme coins. I'm looking at things to like
I know.
1000x. I'm looking at things to.
You're
'cause
good
thing
at
is,
that, though.
Well, I don't know that I'm good at it, but what I should be better at is whenever I am good at it is converting at least some of that to Bitcoin at that point. I should get better at that. Instead, it just funds my further casino doings and eventually it
Of
just goes away.
course.
Yeah.
Of
yeah.
course,
You
it's
just-
like a physical casino that you go into.
Correct, correct. It's great at extracting money from me, just as well as the digital one is
Absolutely.
as well. So, anyway, yes, this was a good. I was excited to do this. By the way, what do you think that I played video today and listened to a video? Would that be
I
something
love
we should
that.
do
I
more?
really, really love that. Because when we used to do the Twitter
TikTok.
Spaces,
Yep.
you would play these TikTok audios, and I loved those segments because I don't know. I don't know why. I just think it's a good little brief introduction that's not us. And
Yeah.
it inserts something in a topic using something that's
Maybe we should.
somewhere else.
I've talked to you privately about like a small format change in here. Maybe we should make a whole segment devoted to that, where we
Let's
have like a
do
jump off
that.
point. Yeah, we have like a jump off point and then start talking.
Yeah, I
Let
like
us
it.
know if that's something we should do, everybody.
Let us know.
Uh,
They voted. They said yes. I'm just kidding.
Here's what I'll say. We're about to wrap up here. Please share out this space, even whenever we close down this space. Share it out because it'll get people in here. They'll see kind of what we're doing, and they'll be able to hear that last little segment of strategy and Sailor, and kind of see what we're all about here. So if you get a chance, please share out the space. Christine, you got anything to add before I play this outro?
By the dip.
By the dip, by the rumor,
By the rumor.
which is also
the dip.
by the dip. All right, there we go. Sounds good, everybody. We will see you next week on episode 23. Till then, peace.
Chasing the thrill of the digital hive. Toxic tech in a renegade code. This is the path where the bold explode. Behind the charts, the story unfolds. Fortunes are built in the data it holds. From crypto skies to entertainment streams, pushing the edge, chasing dreams unseen. By the words, the story unfolds. Fortunes are built in the data it holds. From crypto skies to entertainment streams, pushing the edge, chasing dreams unseen. By the rumor where the silence screams, in a world of risks and electric dreams. Become the future, take the ride. Sharp minds up on the darker side. Sharp minds up on the darker side. Charts don't lie, but the faces do. Watch the market sway like it's testing you. The gossip's currency is hard to ignore. Behind locked doors lies so much more.